morning, good morning, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the sarcastic barman and welcome to my channel. You're an idiot. Your argument's fucking stupid. You dropped on the head as a child. To some stupid, ignorant, ignoramusly ignorant stupidness. Got a bit of goddamn stupid that's gonna make me scream. No, you cocked that up, didn't you? You want me to think the human body can go that fast without being smushed to a pancake? I do the most stupid things in the world. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the sarcastic barman, and welcome to another episode of See You Next Tuesday, a show that's going to give you wet dreams about the pubs opening. There is 6 days to go, or should I say, there is 5 days and basically 12 hours for me because the pub will be open by then. Oh my god, I cannot wait. The beer is ordered, the pizzas are ready, and it's going to be goddamn awesome. You cannot wait, cannot wait. And joining us this week, as always, twiddling knobs, playing with buttons and making sure everything works, hopefully, it's the one and only Colon. How you doing, Squire? Looking forward to the pub?
No.
What do you mean?
I'm on a diet.
And?
I'm not allowed excessive amounts of alcohol.
Well, it's only
it's calories.
Have normal amounts of alcohol then.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yay!
No, honestly, the diet's doing well. I've lost about 1 stone in weight, so getting out of COVID and just lockdown is probably a damn good idea. So,
and then joining us this week, a man who knows all his booze, and I'm sure he's going to be looking forward to the pub opening. It's John from the Free Thought Prophecy Project. The one that name I keep messing up. I've got this written down as well. How are you doing, John?
I'm good, man. I'm insanely jealous of all this pub talk, barman, I have to say.
Any idea when yours are opening?
Well, the last numbers I heard, you find people in Her Majesty's United Kingdom have, I think it's 58% of the population vaccinated. In Ireland, we're at 18 and we're near the top of the EU. So, yeah, it's no good, man. It's no good.
That's mental. I know we're low on the second dose, but first dose, we're obviously doing quite well on 31 million people vaccinated so far.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Yeah, but when it comes to the second dose, a lot of people for that have just started coming around to it. So
yeah,
I think it's 5.5 million people have been done already.
It is. It's shot up because I'm sure before the middle of last week, that was only about 1 million. So they've really started to hit them. So that'll soon catch up.
Yeah. And when I watch the UK news, there's always this distinction between the problem of supply and then once you get the supply, the problem of getting it into the right arms. Mm-hmm. And we're still on the first problem. And the worry is, I'm 100% certain we'll make a right mess of the second problem whenever we get that far. So, I'm not that confident we'll be in the pubs in summer, unfortunately. But maybe I'm wrong.
Well, to be fair, if the UK government can do it, then I'm sure the Irish government can do it. 'Cause let's be fair, you look at most of the people in the British Houses of Parliament, things like that, and you look at them and think, you can organise a piss up in a brewery. How the hell are you running the country? And you think, how the hell have you got 31 million people vaccinated?
Well, some of them are bishops. You have to still have bishops in the House of Lords, don't you? They say that's one thing we can laugh at.
But we can just laugh at Boris, though, because it's Boris. He looks like someone you should laugh at.
I suspect that man spends an inordinate amount of time preparing his hair to make it look that untidy.
Oh, definitely.
Like if you didn't do anything to it, at all, it wouldn't look that untidy.
No, there is no way you actually get to that point in government without being an intelligent person. He might come across as a buffoony, clowny person, but he's obviously knows enough to make political strategies, to torch people in the background and stuff like that, and to get his agenda across. Because otherwise, why would anyone in the party want him in charge if they knew he was an idiot?
Yes, well, there's this kind of meme that goes around about Boris being the British Trump, but I think you're right. I don't really buy that. I think he's much more clever and urbane than that. I can't imagine Trump quoting Homer in the original Greek.
Hell no. Hell no. I couldn't imagine Trump going to, I'm trying to remember now, did he go to Oxford or Cambridge, Boris?
Oh,
I'm
good
sure he went to
question.
one of them. He went to a...
Definitely Eton before that.
Was it Eton? God. We can look. Boris Johnson, education. Yeah, Eton. Yeah, no matter the money, if you're still an idiot, you're not going to do well at Eton, regardless.
Uh huh.
We can hope anyway. We hope our school systems aren't that naffed up with money. But yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, because I know there's a few of my people who still probably haven't watched my bit on your channel, tell us about the FTP.
Oh, I can do that without any immodesty, because my good friend Seamus in the United States started it, and the reason why he started it is it's a fantastic story. He used to be a cop, and following not an accident, following an incident while on duty, he had a near-death experience. So he got very severely injured. They had the whole rush to the hospital thing. He was in a coma for a while. And at that stage in his life, he was a very conservative Christian. So we just mentioned Trump. If you mentioned the stereotypical Trump supporter racing towards the Capitol on the 6th, carrying some religious sign, Seamus would tell you that if it wasn't for his near-death experience, that might well have been him. But I think you hear lots of these stories of this person was an atheist, and then they had this near-death experience and saw the light, and they spoke to Jesus, and now they're a Christian. And Seamus was the opposite. Seamus was a very conservative Christian from a group called the Church of Christ. If you look them up, yeah, those guys don't play around. They're pretty serious about their fundamentalist interpretations of Scripture. So Seamus had his near-death experience and didn't see Jesus, and came out of it thinking, this is all nonsense. And in the environment where he was, he's in West Virginia. He started kind of, tweeting atheist memes and making atheist comments on Facebook. And that didn't go down too well with his work colleagues and with the zeitgeist in the environment that he was in at the time. So he created this idea of the free thought prophet, originally just so that he could tweet what he wanted and talk about what he wanted to on Facebook without getting into trouble. And it grew from there into a podcast. So I was originally one of his guests. As you might guess from the name, he's an Irish background, so he was kind of reaching out to Irish atheists. And I went on his podcast soon after it started. It was great fun. We drank too much whiskey and laughed a lot. And yeah, I've been helping out as his co-host for about 300 episodes since then.
Nice. I didn't realize it was that many episodes. Wow. And you have a whiskey club on your website and everything. You obviously get through some good booze for it.
Yeah, we have a national stereotype to live up to, barman. So we're doing our best to do that. That involves some whiskey-based guests recently on our podcast. So we've had a few people on who are starting to build their own distilleries, for example, and we'll talk about the difference between pot stills and vacuum stills and column stills, and some of that stuff's interesting. And then we have I don't think there's like a whiskey version of sommelier. I mean, there's qualifications that you can do, but I don't think there's a word for it. Maybe there should be. Maybe we should make one up. But whatever the word,
Yeah. All words are made up.
Whenever the word, maybe if there's a word that I don't know, that's the whiskey version of sommelier. We've had some people of that ilk on to do blind tasting of different Irish whiskies too. So that's
Nice.
a whole lot of fun, and it was really impressive. The last time we did it on, we had 7 whiskies, and our friend, he's the whiskey nut on Twitter. If you want to look him up. He picked out the one that was cask strength right away. He picked out the one that was aged. He picked out the one that had a bit of peated barley in it, that kind of smoky flavor like Scotch. So yeah, he was. The man has an impressive palate.
Fair play. There's someone in the chat who I can see is quite interested in that. Tatty Bogle even. Definitely someone who would have fun on your show. A whiskey sommelier is just a master blender. He's just put in chat as well.
Excellent, excellent. I will make a mental note of that. Thank you kindly.
Yeah, but I think he'd make a good guest for some whiskey tasting because he does enjoy his whiskey.
We should be able to arrange that. I think that sounds like a fun episode.
Tatty's good. He used to do a lot of producing for the EIE network and myself and things like that. And he's took a break from the community, but now he's coming back and harassing us all once again with his Scottishness.
Excellent, excellent. Well, unfortunately, I have been quoted once or twice as saying that Scotch is unfit for human consumption. So maybe that won't go down too well. But I have a weird thing in my palate where if there's even a hint of smoky or peated flavor in a whiskey, it just triggers something on my palate and I can't drink it. That goes for peated Irish whiskey too, or even a blended whiskey with some small component of peated barley in it. I just can't manage it, unfortunately.
I'm a heathen then.
What I'm trying to say is Scotch is shit and everyone should drink Irish whiskey.
I'm
total heathen.
You've got Tuscan chat
I'm bourbon only.
Oof, no.
Yeah, I know.
No. So we'll move on for this before Tuscan Tatty start a riot. Tatty actually says he agrees Scotch is pish. Whiskey without the E, however. There we go. Fair enough. But a question we have been asking everyone as they've been coming on. You are now a burglar and you get to steal something from someone's house, but only things that are going to make their life inconvenient or just awkward. What are you stealing?
Corkscrew.
That is a good one. I think we've had a couple of people for the corkscrews. Leading answers so far have been like corkscrews and batteries from remotes, or swap the batteries around in remotes. Yours fuses from plugs? Go on, Colin.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how a corkscrew actually blocks up a whiskey bottle these days. Most of them are just screw caps, so that doesn't, if it's stealing from your house, John, we'd never have a problem.
That's very true. That's very true indeed.
Brainy Beaver says all the socks. That's a good one. I don't think we've had anyone say the socks as yet.
No, you only steal half the socks. That makes life worse,
He has specified all of them. Then the
one
underpants.
from each pair. That was. Did you ever read Richard Dawkins' essay on that?
I didn't know.
So Richard Dawkins wrote an essay about chirality. Chirality is the property that objects have when they can be left-handed or right-handed. So his view of the world is, there's a good reason why you buy gloves in pairs, because the left hand one doesn't go on the right hand. Mm-hmm. And there's a good reason why you buy shoes in pairs, but there's no good reason why you buy socks in pairs. People should just buy a bag of 5 black socks. Why do you need a left and a right that match?
That is true. That is true.
But why just 5? Why can't it be 6? Or do you just want? Or is that a marketing ploy to get him to buy more packs of socks?
Well, I think Dawkins argues you should sell them in odd numbers.
Okay. Ooh.
There we go. The Snark says, read Sock Fury by Stephen Fry if you can find it. It's in his book, Paperweight. We'll have a look for that one then.
Okay.
But obviously, the person who steals the socks is Forget-Me-Not from the X-Men. And for anyone who knows who that is, put a 1 in chat because that's a proper nerdy X-Men, that. But yeah, looking at the time, we better crack on with all the other bits and bobs. Colon's got something for us to laugh at, I believe. Oh, look, it's my TV.
Oh. Yeah. Yes, it's the TV, Barman. Yeah, I've been waiting around for a certain conspiracy nut, flat earther, stroke, COVID denier, stroke. Yeah, he's into virtually everything, and now he's absolutely proved it. Yeah, John, if you don't know, I look for stupid videos. Enjoy.
So you heard about that awesome gift that was sent to me by the American Truthers. Dr. Law, Tommy, that flat fellow, just went to the Western Union here in Winchester. They're closed, so not quite got the cash in hand yet, but I woke this morning with this very powerful sense. I've got to go back to the Bible. I had this kind of idea. Yeah. You don't believe in mud flood? You really think someone would build that on purpose?
I think that was enough Trinity 4.
Anyway,
No.
this idea,
It's a little bit more. It gets even better.
You know the story of Moses
But,
going into the wilderness 40 years?
Oh, look. Jesus.
What looks like a obvious framing for a window. Again, people did it on purpose, according to some of my sleepy friends.
Yeah, but
Anyway, Moses went to the wilderness for 40 years, and I think this is what we're being called to do, friends. Is
I'm going to pause it there because that is a brilliant statement.
It's
Moses called into the wilderness for 40 years, and I think that's what we need to do, friends. Yeah, please do us a favour, Trinity 4. Take them all with you, please. Nathan Oakley, the whole damn lot. Take Sleepy.
So, how familiar, John, are you with the idea of mud flood?
Is this something to do with Noah's flood?
A mud flood is apparently a worldwide flood at some point. They don't know when.
Roughly every 500 years.
Yeah, that is the entire reason we have basements, basically. So it's covered the entire world. We forgot a load of technology. No one's ever written down about these mud floods, and the only evidence seems to be basements.
Basements used to be the ground floor. Is that what they're suggesting?
That's the idea, yeah.
Oh, good grief.
But it's like he shows there with windows that were basically at ground level and the roads built above and things like that. It's like, well, why? Why do they have that there?
Oh, my God.
Oh, pub cellars are a thing for one. And digging out foundations.
Servants' quarters.
Yeah.
Servants' quarters. Always downstairs. Upstairs, downstairs. Anybody remember the program?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a thing with archaeological digs where, I mean, if you go to the Forum in Rome, it's obviously not at contemporary ground level. You have to, I mean, there's a reason why they call them archaeological digs. You have to dig down. But, come on, that's nothing to do with basements.
Yeah, apparently so. I mean, I don't know how confused he'd get that if we took him to Chester and say, yeah, all the Roman stuff starts at about a meter down.
Yeah.
Because that would really blow his brain that why is it so low? So what do you mean? That's quite deep.
Indeed.
There's an entire city built on top of it.
Oh, good grief. I've never heard that before. I've never heard that. That is bizarre.
Oh, we'll have to send you some mud flood videos just so you can be really confused about it.
Presumably you can find two houses that are beside each other and one has a basement and one doesn't. Built at the same time.
What's more confusing is this mud is very picky and, well, it's not very picky. It's very clever that it will flood the bottom of a hill exactly the same as it floods the top of a hill.
Ah.
God, yeah.
Smart mud.
Smart mud, yeah.
Was it Barnabas Nagy is one you need to look for. He's him and his ilk they did one on some kind of hotel in Vietnam that was built on the side of a mountain, but it was obviously built after a mud flood. because, or mud flood happened during the build because it was completely different at the top than it was the bottom. Yeah, that's called architecture.
Just asking, Brain Weaver's just put in chat, he's saying, one literally told me, come on, man, when have you ever seen windows in the basement? And he was like, I don't know, possibly right now, because I'm sitting 5 feet underground. Brainy, how old is your house? Because I'd love it if it's only like 20 years old, because that would really confuse the shit out of these people.
Oh. And does he have a water heater down there?
Oh, God. There's another one. John, are you familiar with Daniel Pratt?
Daniel Pratt.
God.
That's another new one on me. Clearly, I'm moving in the wrong circles, folks.
No, you're moving in the right circles if you've never heard of Daniel Pratt.
Okay.
Yeah, you're lucky.
Yeah, there's certain people on the internet you wish you'd never found, and he is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
What does Daniel Pratt do with himself?
He's a horrible person. He bullies, tells people to go kill themselves, and goes on about flat Earth, basically.
Yeah, we're not really allowed to say go do that to them, but the phrase nowadays, termed by Irish Demon, is a permanent nap time.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is very apt and saves us all the hassle with the algorithm.
Yes. Oh, this video will get demonetized anyway. Brainy Beaver's
not
house
again.
was 1992. So, yeah, almost 30 years old, and he's got windows in his basement. There we go. Flood disproved.
Hey, this is so lucky. Brainy Beaver's house is not satanic. There you go.
It might be.
We'll talk about that later.
We will. Well, we could. I've got sick of Trinity's face because he is annoying. He's also on the channel Trinity 4, isn't he? Because he's had that many channels removed.
Yes, that's the one he's on now. Trinity 4.
Yeah, he. We're not doing the other one of him, are we? Oh, Conan's gone silent. We broke him.
Yeah, sorry. No, it's basically him walking around the shopping centre in Winchester telling young people, you don't need to wear your mask because the government's lying to you. No, dude, you're fucking lying to them. Pardon my French. I wish I could meet him in person, but apparently you did, Barman.
I did meet him in person. He was relatively weird in person. We met him down in Cardiff on the Flat Earth World Tour thing. And you got to remember, we were down there sort of September time, and he's writing things about a certain thing in America that happened in September being fake. So,
Barman.
Yes.
Illuminati. Top right-hand corner. Illuminati confirmed.
Oh, yes. Yay. 33 people. Love it.
Yay.
Love it.
Yeah, so yeah, Trinity 4, he's a bit of an oddball. And
He is.
yeah, confirmed.
I think you'd have a good conversation if you ever wanted to have a good one with him, but obviously take all the craziness with a pinch of the barrel of salt.
Yeah, he wouldn't be as bad as Nathan Thompson. And there's a question. Have you ever heard of Nathan Thompson, John?
Nathan Thompson. Goodness, I'm coming up blank on all of these names.
You're lucky.
You lucky person. Oh, the whole chat is thinking, I wish they had your life now.
Because I know you did mention on the show I did with you, you'd spoken to one Flat Earther or something. Who was that one?
Oh goodness, I can't remember his name.
That's all right.
The thing I remember is the mountain. So I think this is reasonably common idea in flat Earthism, where the suggestion is the North Pole is the center of the disk, and the South Pole is really all around the outside.
Yeah.
And when we asked, well, what causes the nighttime then? The answer was that there's a big mountain at the North Pole. And nighttime is when the sun goes behind the mountain and it casts the shadow on half of the earth.
I have never heard that as an answer before. That's nuts.
That's new on me.
It's made out of copper, apparently. So, like, this gentleman had never been there, but he was pretty sure it was made out of copper for whatever reason.
That's the biggest one. They say to us, "Oh, have you been to space? How do you know they're real? Have you been to the edge?" Which one sounds more realistic here? Earth is flat, or we send things to space?
Yeah.
But no.
Oh, goodness. So what was that name you mentioned? Nathan something? He's another flat earther then?
Nathan Thompson, and you got Nathan
Yes.
Oakley as well.
Okay.
If you want,
Yeah.
we can send you a big long list of all these nutters to avoid.
Wow. Now, the guy who was on our podcast, Barman, I mean, he'd obviously put some effort into it. He had graphics, he had videos, he had things to show. He was pushing an app that you could download for $2.99 or whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
Flat
that's
Earth
fine.
clock.
Do your thing.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
my impression from him was he was just cynical and trying to turn a buck. He didn't really believe it. But it sounds like your buddy Nathan might be a true believer.
No, a lot of them are let's make some money. Fact he's put it was Dirth that was on, DITRH.
Oh,
Okay.
David
Because
Weiss.
he does the app as well, doesn't he? But yeah, the whole app that doesn't work. He's just tagged me again. I literally just spoke it, Facty. But thank you.
Ditra, deep in the rabbit hole, David Weiss.
I will always call him Dirth. Dirth.
Yeah.
Sounds like the noise an idiot would make when they've realised they've used sandpaper instead of toilet paper. I like Keith Newton's one. They all look and sound the same to me. But yeah, I think that's enough for flat earthers. We're coming up to past, so I think it's time we laugh at a bit of TikTokiness, and then we can always talk more flat earthers afterwards. Because there's one in here I think you're going to love. I think it's near the end though. But so all these are is a selection of videos, John, that we got from TikTok. I know you've seen the show, but still,
yes.
There's a mixture this week, so it's not a laugh you lose challenge like last week, but I think you should find these amusing. Ready when you are, Monsieur Cologne.
Okay, so yes, the barman's been at it again.
If you read this the same way I did, we need to be friends.
Could you see the writing in those?
Talking about kids.
Oh, I hear your daughter, Cologne.
Oh. Yeah, sorry.
Woo woo. Yeah, could you
down, barman, down.
Landscape is a lie. Is that what it says?
That says landscape is a lie. Colon, could we go back about 3 seconds in the video to see if we can see the writing that was on the screen? So can you see the writing on there, on her video?
The peninsula. No, that's not what it says. I'm trying to make it out. The color's a bit weird.
It is a bit odd, isn't it? So so we've got what I read is anal bum cover.
Oh, good
The
grief.
penis in her mouth, and Hall remembers.
I'm glad I said peninsula then.
Hall members, sorry. Yeah. Obviously, that's not what they're supposed to say. So it'd be an album cover. The pen is in her mouth, and who remembers? So no whores, no anal.
Wow.
And just
dear.
yeah. Oh, I'm a child. I found that funny.
Obviously, but then again, you need to be her friend.
I do. I do.
I do. Okay, next one.
I need friends.
When Jesus passes out and comes back 3 days later, he's the Messiah. But when I do it, I have a drinking problem, and I'm ruining the Easter egg hunt for everybody.
That was actually
I have an objection to that. I have an objection to that.
What's your objection?
Because he didn't go away for 3 days. He only promised to. He said, I think it's in Matthew somewhere, Jesus says, for as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of a whale, so the Son of Man will be in the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. Now, everyone knows that, and everyone quotes Jesus is dead for 3 days and 3 nights, but 3 o'clock on Friday until dawn on Sunday is not 3 days and 3 nights.
That's nowhere near 3 days and 3 nights, even from my drunkenness.
I'm owed another day and another night, barman. I demand Jesus returns and dies again for at least one more day and one more night.
Do you know, when you work that all out, that's a good lie-in after a piss-up.
It is like that's all he's actually done, isn't it? He's got absolutely leglessly hammered on Friday and said, I'm not doing anything Saturday, just bring me breakfast in bed. And then Sunday's got up and they've all gone out on the second day.
It's the Dread Pirate Roberts and the Princess Bride was dead for longer than that.
He was. Well,
Oh,
there's an
God.
actual Bible question. Did he not do anything on the Saturday? Because wasn't Saturday the Sabbath day?
That's right.
Yeah, so he couldn't have done anything that day. So really, he didn't do anything. God damn zombie Jesus letting us all down.
He just gave up one Sabbath.
So, which he couldn't do anything on anyway.
Exactly.
Because you look at some of the not hard line, that sounds so bad, but the more extreme Jewish people and stuff like that, they won't even turn lights on the Sabbath just in case, because they're like, no, we can't do anything work-wise, no phones, no repairmen. I don't know that from watching a case of someone suing someone because there was a broken wire or something, and it was on the Sabbath, and it's like, well, religious exemption and things, they went through it all. I was like, that's quite good.
Yeah, and Barman, Dark Knights Apologetics has just pointed out, you've got to remember that Jewish Sabbath day actually started at sundown on the Friday.
There we go. So, yeah.
And my favorite is all the elevators stop on every single floor on the Sabbath because you can't push the button. So it just stops on every floor.
Daybreaker Flint just pointing out, because Tatty put, Jesus got hammered at Easter, Sarcastic Bomb in 2001, and Daybreaker Flint was putting out and saying he got nailed, not hammered. Getting nailed and getting hammered, there is a big difference. One involves someone being bent over, let's be fair.
I think Barman, when you were on the Free Thought Prophet, I told you my son's joke along those lines. Do I remember that correctly?
It sounds familiar, yeah.
Jesus goes into the hotel and walks up to the concierge and slams down a hammer and 3 nails in the table and says, "Can you put me up for the night?"
Oh.
No, you didn't tell me that one. That was awesome. I would remember that one.
It. That was good.
Oh, should we play some more then? See what the next clip has got for us?
Okay.
Got me for ages.
So for those of you who don't know, my constitution says you can't force me to get a vaccine.
You know what? I don't know where Riff Raff from Rocky Horror Picture Show here got her law degree, but she's not wrong. You can't be forced to take the vaccine. You also said, though, that HEPA says you can't ask if you had the vaccine. That's not true. Anyone can ask you. They just can't look at your medical records. But here's the problem. See, you don't have the right to do certain things like, say, get on a plane. That's not a right. So if they say you have to prove you've had the vaccine to fly and you say no, you don't fly. If a hospital or assisted living center says you can't come in without proof of vaccine and you don't provide it, you don't have to come in. If a grocery store says you can't come in without it, you don't shop there. If another country says you can't cross our borders without having it, you don't cross the border. So go ahead, don't get the vaccine. I don't exactly want you on my flight singing Time Warp and touch me.
If we were spinning
a
the world,
jokey sort of thing. Oh, hold on. Oh, there we go. Sorted. Yeah, a jokey sort of video for it. But what's your thought on the idea of having a vaccine passport?
Well, I don't mind it personally, but I do kind of in sympathy with the man in the video with the tremendous beard. I do find it a bit bizarre that the same kind of constituency who objects to it are also those who present themselves very often as libertarians. So, you know, if you have the private property of whatever it is, a cinema or an airline, and they say in my business, I only want people who have a vaccine passport, well, presumably the libertarian would say it's their business, it's their rules.
Mm-hmm. So I think it always falls back on that same sort of thing when you get a couple, let's say a mother and father bakers that will go, no, I don't want to make a cake for you because you're gay. And I know that then comes down to more of a distinguishable, because obviously that is discrimination. Whereas having a vaccine or not having a vaccine comes down to stupidity, or I'll be fair, there are certain people who can't get vaccinated, and it comes down to that. So at least there is that, but it's like, how do you draw the line on this, on who wants to be served? Because it's somebody's business.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I think it's an easy one in the case of private businesses. If someone wants to come in to your pub and order a pint, barman, there's a certain set of requirements that you'll have. If they've had too much to drink, if they're not wearing a bow tie and a three-piece suit, presumably they're not allowed into your fine establishment. So you get to make the rules.
Well, my rules go as simple as no shoes, no shirt, no service, but topless women will be served first. So I know there was a funny one. It was Krusty Kreme donuts or whatever they're called in America, and they were giving free donuts for vaccinated people. And you got the anti-vaxxers going, well, this is discrimination. That's not fair. They just turned around and said, yes, it is. That was it. Yeah, we're discriminating. We don't care.
Yeah, I think the calculus changes slightly if you're talking about a public service rather than a private business. So, you can't do things like refuse healthcare to someone because they refuse the vaccination. But a private business makes their own rules.
Yeah. There's certain things you obviously can't discriminate for because that comes down to you're a naughty boy. But otherwise, I can do what I want. It's my pub. If you don't like it, go away. But I would quite happily have, if it all came down to it properly and they sorted all the vaccine passport out, which I can't see them sorting out, I'll be fair. I would quite happily go, no, you've not had a vaccine. You're not coming in. Obviously, I wouldn't do it this month, next month, the month after. I'll have to wait to the point where most people had it vaccinated because otherwise it'd be unfair because I haven't even had my vaccine yet. So that would be a bit hypocritical. You can't come into my pub because you're not vaccinated, but neither am I.
It's the practicalities of it seem a bit weird to me. I mean, there is a certain whiff of "can I see your papers?" I mean, that feels a bit uncomfortable. So
it does a bit. I will be fair. I feel like it should just be an app on your phone. That when you go and get your vaccination, you would scan your app on your phone on the card that's there. So you can say, yeah, I've been vaccinated on that. You put in your national insurance number because we've all got those. That's your unique identifier. And then it just comes up with a green thing when you scan. Because when we reopen next week, everyone has to log in for track and trace. So they scan the barcode. Their phone will beep. I say, yes, you can come in. I can save you a beer now. Next person, yeah. So everyone's got to do that. So all it's got to do is go, yeah, beep, green, or beep, beep, no. You haven't had it yet, so you sit in the other section.
That's fair comment. I've got one of those apps, the COVID apps, and every week it tells me, well, I haven't had one yet, but it tells me how many people have come close to, which is a big number, and how many close contacts to an infected person I've had, which it hasn't said any yet. So, yeah, the boffins can figure those things out. They should be able to figure something out with vaccines.
You'd hope so, but go on.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, aren't we having yet again that driver's license moment from back in the 1930s? When everybody who was just driving a car because, oh, look, I got shown how to do it and I can just drive this car, just used to do it. And then they brought in the driver's license where you had to go and get tested and then prove you've got a driver's license to a police officer if they stopped you at the side of the road. It's just the same, but on a little bit more of a bigger scale, because if you want to go to a pub or a restaurant, you've got to carry an app around with you, or you've got to carry a piece of paper with you that just shows that, yeah, I've actually had a vaccine, but, it doesn't stop me getting it because 95% protection, not 100, and I may still catch it if I walk into your premises as well. So what's wrong with this piece of paper? Why is there so many social liberties these people thinking are being taken away from them when we do it with a driver's license?
Worse than that, I don't get the whole driver's license pictures, but the whole national ID cards that they talked about in the early noughties for me was the last time I remember it. It's like, everyone should have national ID cards. Cool. Yeah,
I used to carry one around with me for 22 years, an ID card.
Yeah.
Because I had to for my job.
as a lad at the time who was like 16, 17 when they were talking about him, it's like, I'd love a national ID card because I want to buy fags, but I haven't got ID because I don't have a driver's license. I've got to pay for a driver's license. And it's like, why? Just sort them out. We will never.
They also send you a national health card, don't they?
They do, yeah. I have my national insurance card.
Yeah,
what
that's the
would
one.
have been
National
stopping
insurance.
putting my date of birth and a picture on that? There we go, sorted.
Yeah. And they could always put a chip on it and attach that to your little bit of data saying you've had your jab done.
Yeah,
scan it.
That's the other one with your modern passport, which I actually have my new passport here. I'm sure.
Is it blue, Barman?
I've got a red one, and the wife's got a black one. So, because we both had our passports redone recently, but yeah, these have got chips and all sorts in them. So, it's why couldn't they be included in them and then give everyone a passport? But then there are certain people. Do we really want them to have passports? They're a bit weird at the best of times. I think Trinity Ford could leave the country. Actually, that's a good thing. He could leave and not come back.
Well, he did say he wanted to take the rest of them into the wilderness for 40 years, and I'm totally up for that. Just go. Please, take Nathan Oakley.
Right, just before we have the next video, quick comment from Tusk. He says he's got 4 licenses that say he can fish for salmon in the waters around Scotland. We show them on demand. The vaccine passport is no different. And yeah, it's.
There you go.
I think it's definitely one we're going to have a full show on, just vaccine passport. I know Critical Cripples talked about it on one of his and things, but that could be a
Tusk,
good one.
Yeah, just a quick question to Tusk in the chat. Have you got a spay license? He'll understand if he knows about salmon fishing. Anyway, carry on.
Well, I was just going to say, on that note, what's this one? Jin News tagged me. Is the scared of Facty and I... What? Am I reading that right? My dyslexia
is scared of Facty.
That's not how you spell scared. What?
I know, but it's the closest
I'm so
I can
confused.
make it.
When I'm dyslexic and having a beer, that's just confusing. Oh, the bot. No, he says the bot. The bot's scared. I think it's because I changed my Chrome password and I need to go and get my phone and sign in on Streamlabs and re-kick the bot into life. My phone's the other side of the room. So, unfortunately, never.
Sorry, guys.
Says, that's the funniest bit about the Brexit gammons. We want our blue passports again. They were always back.
And Tusk also says, yes, he's got a spay license.
Nice.
Awesome. Nice one to have. If you can fish salmon there, that's cool.
Nice. Right, next clipping, because we got Flat Earth on the next one.
Oh no. Okay, here we go.
Flat Earth. If we were spinning, the world would break. Just like
first we hydrate, and now we educate this plum pudding of a boy. Firstly, the Earth is not flat. But it is also not egg-shaped. It's more spherical or circular. And your egg-shaped Earth broke because it was inside another physical object. Earth spins at roughly about 1,000 miles an hour. And it does this within the vacuum or void known as space. And it is kept in place by the gravitational pull of our sun, or an orbit. There is no container around Earth that Earth could potentially crack against and then break open. Also, I don't think you quite understand how hard it would be to crack a planet. Well, apart from that one time millions or billions of years ago when an asteroid hit the planet so hard, they created the moon.
He is good. I do like him. He is funny as hell and clever.
Yep.
He is
spots that one
He's very,
perfect.
very watchable.
Yeah, the only bit I'll grumble at is the 1,000 miles an hour. Please say 15 degrees, because you know how flat Earths are. We're moving at 1,000 miles an hour. Well, yes, no, and a little bit, but 15 degrees, just 1 revolution per day.
And do you know what gets me the most is when they always go on about the Earth being pear-shaped. Have they ever seen an Asian pear? And I don't mean an Asian pair of, an Asian pear. Proper Asian.
You think they eat
just
fruit?
lost it. No, obviously not. They think a pear is one of these, thin at the top and then bulbous at the bottom. No, an Asian pear is actually more shaped round like an apple.
Well, that's
That
cool.
completely blew the barman apart. There you go.
I did
It
not
did a
know
bit.
that.
I was typing as well.
I would be able to put a picture up on the screen, but we're in the middle of the video at the moment, so I'll try and do it at the end if we've got time.
Every day is a school day. I did not know that. Colon. Does it taste like a pear I would be familiar with, and it's just the shape that's different, or is it a different
It's
flavor?
just, yeah, they taste exactly the same as normal pear. They're just shaped more like an apple.
Well,
Nice.
there you go.
Nice.
So they've got that proper shape.
We got Slim Living Cyborg asking who was that. I'll be fair, I can never remember his name, but obviously when we finish this video, all the TikTok videos will be available afterwards. And his username is available on there. And he's got quite a few videos. I think we featured him most weeks. We've had at least one from him, some weeks two. Because he's good.
He's a good lad.
He's about 6'4" as well, which is just weirdly funny when he walks into a light.
Yeah, and I've got to go and hunt him down and see if we can get him on the show with you.
Yeah,
Because we've done that with Kenyon.
We have. We've got Kendon Farr coming on, which is going to be nice.
That's it, Kendon.
I'll bug him because it'll be June time now. Because basically we're booked up until the end of May.
Oh my God!
I know.
do you mean I have to keep doing this every week?
You do. And we'll
All
get
right.
John on to come on again. So next time I'll get him on and we'll do TikToks to make him laugh and lose it.
Cool.
Oh dear.
But let's have the next one. I think is the next one the one that I picked for John? Play it and we'll find out.
Could be. Let's have a look. Oh, maybe not. Not yet.
You can take oregano
Oh, God.
oil. You can dilute 10 drops of oregano oil and drink that over the course of the morning and do that 10 days in a row, and your COVID symptoms
It's a
will be
tincture
gone.
job.
Now, if you're
I think that's total fucking bullshit.
I honestly don't care what you think. I don't think
is.
you've done your research.
Do you understand how Dunning-Kruger works?
I don't understand how anything you refer to even makes any sense, brother. What is that?
Dunning-Kruger.
Dunning-Kruger, what is that?
So like the stupidest people in the room think they're the smartest.
Is your name Dunning-Kruger? Like, what are you going to come out with next? Occam's razor? The simplest explanation is that I'm an idiot?
Yes.
You
The simplest
certainly
explanation
are.
is you're an
Yes.
idiot.
You certainly are, sir.
No, my favorite part of that was the guy with the oregano or oregano-based COVID cure telling everyone else to do their research. I want to know where he was doing his research.
Oh, I'd either say Reddit, YouTube, or Facebook he found that from. Oregano oil, 10 drops diluted, and you'll have no symptoms in 10 days.
But not 5, Farman. If you only had 5, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, and what size drops as well? Is he using a dip pipette to get these drops exact, or?
Ooh.
I do remember some bits from science. But yeah, these guys, I should send that one to Crafty as well for the Dunning-Kruger video they're doing. But yeah. But I'm quite surprised to know they don't know who Dunning-Kruger is, but they'll understand Occam's razor, but then not realize the whole stupidity of saying, well, what's more likely that I'm stupid or what? Yes, you're stupid. Just that's it.
Totally. Oh.
Keith Newton's got the best one. He's put, yes, dead, so no symptoms.
What would happen if you were there and you told him, no, actually, it's basil. Oregano will never work, but if you take basil drops every day for 10 days, that's definitely a COVID cure. I wonder, what would he say to that?
Oh no, you got to pick something better than basil. You have to say it's hemlock, but you can only have 8 drops because the 8 drops will kill the COVID inside you. But
to be on the safe side, Barman, you would have to say 8 drops diluted 8 times over 8 days, every day.
Oh wait,
at least then they've got a chance of living. Because obviously we don't want to get demonetized for that and or kicked off the channel for that.
we missed out there. It should have been 6 drops over 6 days, but 6 times a day.
Oh God, you just hit it. We're not supposed to mention that. Shh, don't say a word.
Yeah. Tusk has just put, that sounds like witchcraft. Eye of newt, but which eye and which species of newt? And obviously monochromatic light source is one is good. If you lick the electric socket every day for a week, that cures COVID. The thing is, in the UK, and Mono's in the UK, so even he knows we can lick our plug sockets and nothing's going to happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because you think the number one, you've got the gates that are going to be shut on the positive and the neutral, so your spit's not going to get in there. Number two, no idiot's going to turn the plug on and then lick the socket.
So,
well,
we've identified the level of idiot who licks sockets, but only when the switch is off and not when the switch is on.
Oh dear.
I'm going to say that's a pretty niche part of the population.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Also, luckily, if you did lick the sockets and there was a problem with the socket and your spit somehow got into both prongs of the socket, that would just be a straight short. There'd be nothing to earth. So in theory, you should blow the fuse.
Barman.
Interesting.
Yes.
We got I'm not sure if we got a troll in the chat, but Robert Caslow. I can't even work out what that word says at the very start.
Yog Sothoth is the only one true God. I don't know. I recognise the name Robert Caslow. That is a name I recognise from somewhere. I can't remember where. But good evening, Robert. But anyway, Robert. I think we're so off topic here. Let's play the next one, because the next one should be the one for John that I picked out specially.
Yep. And it's just so nice that Yog Sothoth was late to the party, so we'll carry on and play videos.
And welcome back to the World Insult Championships here in Copenhagen. Next up is France. You do not dress well, and your nose is too big for your face. Not a bad start there from France. Judges are giving it 6 out of 10. Now the Germans. Yes, you are a very unpunctual man. Oh, the judges weren't keen on that, Germany. That's only 4 out of 10. Next up, the Americans. Let's see what they've got. You are a monumental asshat. 7 out of 10 for the Americans. The judges really like the combination of ass and hat. Up now, the British. You absolute cock-wombling spunk bubble ass mother. Oh my God. Where's he still going? Mother, your mum goes to Chippy in her slippers. It seems the judges' scoreboard has broken.
All right, our kid. All right, our kid. Well done.
Dumb events in history. Okay, so I need to go ahead and say this is probably the...
Oh, pause. There we go. This is one I picked for John that's about to come up.
Okay.
I like the next one. But yeah, I have to be fair, I've never heard a good insult from Americans. I think we've got the market cornered on them.
Oh, too true. Especially, that's actually really good. And dropping down to my real Scouse accent, because that's perfect, especially when he starts talking like that.
Please
What's up, Barman?
Oh,
Calm down, sunshine. Calm down.
Oh. I used to live in Ellesmere Port, and we go out into Liverpool, and it was great because you'd be in the club and it was too loud to hear anyone's accent, and you'd be dancing with someone and things like that, and you go out for a fag with them, and then they talk, you're like, oh God, I just want to walk away. It's one accent I can never like.
I'm so put out.
They were as well when I just turned and walked away.
And true, yeah, Tusk, they did
I've
bomb
got a
our
Scouse
chippy.
question.
Go on then.
Here's a Scouse question. My sister's married a guy from Liverpool who's a very nice guy. But anytime I'm in their house and a bunch of the in-laws are there, they try to wind him up by calling him a hurry back. What is the significance of the term hurry back to Liverpudlians?
Oh, jeez. Hurry back. Oh, God. It's actually more close. It's nearly a woolly back. So woolly backs are the outside. They're the ones on the outskirts of Liverpool.
Just so that I'm getting this clear, there's a hurry back and there's a woolly back, and they're two different things.
Slightly, yeah. The hairy ones are the ones going after the woolly ones.
Oh, good grief. That's superb.
Yeah, it depends on where he's actually from in Liverpool, where he was born.
Okay,
So,
it's like a regional thing?
Slightly, yeah. Yeah, and then you got the pie eaters as well. Pie eaters are cool because they're from Wigan. Yeah, pie eaters from Wigan.
Oh, that's very funny.
It's weird. Yeah, but we love our airy backs. I'm a true Scouse because I was born very, very close to Mecca, which is Liverpool's football ground. So there you go.
Oh God, you Scousers! Play the next one.
I've just annoyed a lot of people in the chat, especially if they're Islamic. Sorry, guys.
Dumb events in history. Okay, so I need to go ahead and say this is probably the dumbest one yet. Okay, so on June 18th, 1875, a whiskey distillery caught on fire in Dublin, Ireland. It was a terrible tragedy for the Irish. 5,000 barrels of whiskey were lost and over 13 people died. But here's the kicker. See, no one actually died from the fire that night. So all these exploding barrels of alcohol were creating a river of whiskey 6 inches deep that flowed from the distillery all the way to the nunnery that was down the road. So hundreds of people were lining up, taking every kind of container you could possibly imagine to get free booze. All the while, the building is still burning. Subsequently that night, 13 people died of alcohol poisoning. Which has got to be the most Irish thing that I could possibly say. That is the equivalent of me as an American saying that I survived the shooting only to die of a heart attack at the all-you-can-eat buffet that night.
That's hilarious.
God, I can't believe there's people who actually believe in that crystal therapy shit. Like, imagine thinking that rocks give off energy. There are rocks that give off.
Colon's broken. There he is.
The whiskey thing's a true story, and it wasn't just the building that was on fire. The whiskey that they were drinking was on fire. So there were literally rivers of fire running through many streets in Dublin, and
that's nuts.
Yeah, a big bunch of people died from alcohol poisoning, and no one died from the flames.
Oh wow!
Jeez. I just find that mad to die like that. Is like, what the hell? Good way to go, but I was going to ask if you knew it was a true story or not, because I didn't do a check beforehand, but I just thought, feck it.
It is. We I'd kind of heard of it before, and then we had a guest on our podcast from the Irish Whiskey Museum, which is kind of a tourist attraction in the centre of Dublin, and that story is one of the central themes of the Irish Whiskey Museum. So they have lots of documents from the time attesting to this. It's it's very, very true.
Oh, I just thought it was a great fact. I had to put it in for you, and we had to have a laugh at that one. So, but yeah, but
can you have this national stereotype that these stereotypes don't come from nowhere?
What do you mean stereotypes?
Oh God, stop!
Calm down. No, my Irish accent's terrible, but at least I can drop down into one. No problem. It's a little bit Scouse though.
You're always going to be a little bit Scouse though, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
But saying that, I grew up in North Wales, so everyone says I'm a little bit Scouse the best of times. So.
No, you're not. No, you're definitely North Walian.
Well, yeah, but that's the closest the Scouser can get to Florida.
Well, we could make you swim, but then we'd have to turn you into a whale and you'd have to start whistling.
Scousers can swim? What?
Yeah, how do you think that my family got across from Ireland?
Well, yeah, but you weren't a Scouser then. Anyway, looking at the time, unfortunately, that's about it for this week. For See You Next Tuesday. John, have you enjoyed yourself with all the silly, non-planned craziness that we do?
That was a whole lot of fun, folks, and I especially enjoyed the whiskey stories. All whiskey stories are greatly appreciated.
Nice. Glad of that one. So the Free Thought Project link for the main website it's a pinned comment in the chat. So please go check that out. They do have a YouTube page as well, which I'll quickly repost again now. There's 350 videos on there for everyone to watch, so please go and check them out. And Mr. Sensible is about to go live with his why he spent £1,000 on something and why his wife has now strangled him. So that'll be amusing. But on that note, I think you can all join us again next week. Colin, anything we're missing, forgetting?
No, hopefully the shields are sorted out this weekend. So that'll be pub chats coming up, Pain of Progress, Mega Mirror Live, anything else on the EI network you want to throw out there? Steam a Cup of Reason and Cheese Mondo. Don't forget QED.
QED, yeah.
It's doing really, really well. Please, guys, keep checking it out. And John, we might get you on there one day.
That would be
All
great.
right.
And thanks a lot for this, folks. That was a lot of fun. Much appreciated.
Oh, you should have a John versus Seamus one. That would be good.
Oh, yeah, why not? That'd be fun. Let's see how they get on with debunking.
We'll have to watch the times on that one. Apart from that, video on Thursday, Les Ribbables for everyone in that. So you got myself, Slim Living Cyborg, who I've seen in chat, Just Ivy, Glober, Pip, the load of us all doing videos Thursday night. I should be there for pub chat on EIE on Thursday, but I won't be there the rest of the weekend because I'll be setting up my bar. Whoop-de-whoop. And on that note, we better run off before Mr. S's premiere music, which Tuss just pointed out to me, finishes and he goes live.
Ciao, ciao now then. Bye.
No.